So hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. I guess today we're gonna sort of like one of those days where I give you guys some good news. And if you remember in the past, when the recent past, Google said that the search experience or Google overviews was going to show for an increasing number of queries as it improved. And SEOs like me kind of are like, all right, so if it's like really good and it can do a better job than us, then we practically, we have no motivation behind producing content. And most of the people that have content-driven websites were like, okay, so we'll lose a lot of our traffic. And I have some content-driven websites. I have some test websites that do content-driven websites that I mainly use to test the SERPs. Now it turns out that Google's overviews AI has gone from showing for 84% other times for various queries to now down to 15% for the same number of queries. So actually it's showing for less queries. So this article is by Search Engine Land, and it says over here, Google's AI overviews now appears for less than 15% of the time according to new analysis. Now, if you remember, Google said this was going to roll out for all territories out there. It was going to roll out for just about every place in the world by the end of the year. But if it can't even perform well in the US, and it's actually now reduced how many times it shows in the US for the number of queries that it was showing before, it means that it's not successful. Now, according to this article, and this is something I don't necessarily agree with, but let's go into this. So it says Google AI overviews, formerly known as Search Generative Experience, when it was an opt-in experiment in Google Labs, at once appeared on 84% of queries. That number of Google search results without SGE jumped substantially starting in mid-April, as they had announced, and this is mid-April 2024, and continued into May before Google I/O, when Google announced the launch of AI overviews in the US. The launch of AI overviews was followed by numerous examples of incorrect and dangerous AI-generated answers, such as suggesting people drink urine and eat rocks. And here's a graph that shows a drop in AI in search results. Now, I don't think that was a reason. I think Google was aware of the fact that it would produce incorrect results. That's why you got that message that you shouldn't, you should double check the information that Google Overview AI provides. And Google has always held that you shouldn't trust what AI generates. The problem, though, is that when you keep saying that, and if your AI is continuously wrong, then most people will not want to use your AI. And so what I suspect that it wasn't really, drink urine type of answers that got AI to show for less, but mainly people were just found it hugely irritating. And when I tested Overviews AI, and since it only rolled out in the US, so I have to use a VPN, the problem I saw was that it didn't really understand the query as much, and the answer wasn't, it was half an answer, and it was usually just not a satisfactory answer. And so after using it extensively, I figured out that Google has pushed this out, and Google is forcing this down our throats, but it's not really good. And at the end of the day, if something is forced down your throat and it's not good, it's not going to make money for the company. That's not, and if you remember, I keep saying that Google is now a money-making machine. It assumed that by bringing in Overviews AI, it would compete and eat market share from maybe Perplexity AI and OpenAI's ChatGPT and other similar technologies that it assumed would take over the search market. And Sam Altman keeps saying that we're going to develop our own search engine that's going to be 100 times better than Google, and it will be 100% AI, and people will stop using search engine. It'll be search engine 2.0. The problem is, I think Sam Altman doesn't really know what he's thinking, what he's saying. The fact that he's stolen this stuff, which would otherwise be copyrighted, just in the name of training his AI, doesn't make it okay. Now, his AI is good. I'm subscribed to OpenAI, but now what I'm seeing is that the quality of the results and the fact that it's now so tightly boundaried is that you can't really get the results you want. And so you need to sometimes put in one command multiple times or multiple different ways just to get an answer out of it, or an answer that you would want out of it. Now, most people use it just to write content. And to be clear, that's probably not the best use of this or any other AI technology. But, if it's not good for anything else, we'll just use it to write content. And so a lot of people are using it to write content. Some people use it to write code. Some people use it to correct code, when in fact it has proven that it's not really good at any of that. You still need to go through whatever it's producing, but I digress. So what AI hasn't turned out to be what everyone thought it would be. I remember not too long ago, Google's CEO saying that, when he was asked like what AI is, he said like AI is like a black box. We have no idea what's going on inside of AI.
There is an aspect of this which we call, all of us in the field call it as a black box.
The problem with deploying a black box as part of your search engine and making the prominent part of it is that you're going to have unexpected results because you have no idea of what's going on inside of it.
Don't fully understand how it works, and yet you've turned it loose on society?
I don't think we fully understand how a human mind works either.
Or you claim you have no idea, but all of a sudden, it has a certain political slant. It has a certain way of denying you an answer when you're looking for an answer. It has a certain way of providing an incorrect answer. And so I think, honestly, I suspect that Google knew that this was going to fail, but they put this out there for their shareholders. But anyways, AI overview and other search features and AI overviews are 195% more likely to appear when queries have featured snippets. Question-based queries are also more likely to feature AI overviews. And not only is it featured, but it's literally copying and pasting, which was once ranking. And so I demonstrated this in numerous screenshots. See, the question and that rank number 1 was actually copied by Overviews AI and just pasted as is, with absolutely no change in it. But there was no link to the main article or the main page that had that layout. And so it was blatantly just stealing information and stealing traffic. And then there's a chart here that says factors that influence AI overviews, AIO across industries. And if you look at the chart, this is sort of interesting because it goes over, so it shows most for featured snippets. And that's true because I see it a lot for featured snippet. For AIO is much less likely to show when site links are present. Okay, so that's something I've not really experienced. I kind of see AI overviews appearing for a lot of queries, even with site links. So maybe it's not the majority what I'm seeing. I'm seeing what the minority sees. So AI also is unlikely to show for local queries. So, plumber near me, painter Manchester, AI will not show for these queries. So that's kind of good news, I guess, if you're doing SEO, because a lot of SEOs, for a lot of SEO, these are their bread and butter clients. Also, you've got AIO is much more likely to show for questions. Yeah, so if you ask something, it wants to give you an answer, even though that answer is not great. And also shows for people also ask, but not as much as it does for featured snippets and for questions. So if that's your ranking strategy, feature snippets and questions, then you will lose traffic, or at least for now. And I think eventually Google will have to pull the plug on this, or will have to at least demote its position from being right at the top of for a search query to maybe somewhere in the middle or right at the bottom, or maybe move it to the side, or whatever. But I don't see this being, or unless it becomes great, which again, I don't see it happening. AI overviews by industry. Google AI overviews continues to appear most often in healthcare, so 63%. And this is what amazes me, is because when you're writing content for the healthcare industry, or you have a website for the healthcare industry, Google wants you to be a doctor. Google wants you to prove that you're a medical professional before your content ranks. That's part of the YMYL update, the analytic update. But over here, AI needs neither a doctor, neither is it certified, neither has any expertise in the medical industry, but yet it shows for 63% of healthcare related questions. which is down, it says, from 76% in January. AI overviews appears for less than 1% of the time for restaurants. Now, you don't need a qualification for a restaurant, but as it turns out, Google is just not qualified to answer restaurant-related questions. But it's still down from 36%, and travel is down from 30%. So you don't need a qualification to run a travel website or to answer a travel-related query. And even if you get it wrong, it's not going to really cost you a lot. You're not going to get sued for it. But you tell someone who's looking for an answer on how to fix their issue, fix a medical issue with kidney stones, and you say drink urine. And if they drink urine and they die from it, or something really bad happens to them from doing that, that's a disaster. So, predicting and following up questions, Google has reduced the overlap between AI citations and the classic AI search results, according to Bright Edge. This means that Google is less often showing users the same answers in two types of results. Also, for what, where, how, and intent-based queries, Google is now more often. So it's showing more for what, where, and how. So yeah, mainly just questions. Doing a second, third, and fourth searches for users. As Google AI put it in AI, well, let's do the Google search for you. So, this is something that I didn't expect that Google will start rolling this back so soon, but apparently this is good news for us, for SEOs, for people who own content sites. That if Google can't rely on their own AI to provide the right answers, then it's going to have to rely on good websites to provide those answers. Now, granted that there is spam in SERPs, and also granted that they're bad actors, but at least there's, it's not this blatantly low quality answers that AI provides, especially for some of the most important questions relating to people's health or people's, financial situations. So if this is the type of answers Overviews AI provides, I think Google should remove Overviews AI, improve it, get it to work in-house, at least predictably, before putting it out there. I mean, if it's just going to copy and paste content, it's a lawsuit waiting to happen. If it's going to provide the type of medical information that I've demonstrated it does, it's another lawsuit waiting to happen. So Google should fix this. This is a huge problem. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Overviews AI rolling back, and if you think that this is really good news, or if you think that Google is rolling it back to roll it back out later on. Like and subscribe as always, and I will see you in the next video.